ICENET. Dynasties live here.
We're going up.
Back up the wall. Berard, wrist shot. He scores! Ryan Berard threw it at the net. It might have been deflected, but the Islanders take a 1-0 lead on the power play.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're a New York Islander, do you breathe easy or not when you get the first goal? First goal of the first season, or the opening game of the season. What looked like a harmless shot. Looked like he was trying to get it through. It was high. Normally you like that low. Caught the goal post. I didn't know whether it went in or not. There's the shot. It's off the post. I still haven't seen it go across the goal line, but everybody jumped up. Nobody complained about it. It was down on the ice. It still wasn't across the line, or was it?
Well, it looked like it might have changed to Reckland off of Skrudland's stick, who was challenging the Stan Lacouture. Now Berard bumped by Eastwood. The puck turned around. Here comes Lapointe. In over the line. Quick shot, stick saved by Richter. However, behind the play, Kenny Belanger and Darren Langdon square off in the neutral zone. And Belanger falls on top of Langdon. And now here come the linesmen, Pierre Gauthier and Stéphane Provost. So Kenny Belanger, Eddie, an interesting story, because last year he came to camp out of shape. Took a job for granted. Mike Milbury sent him down. Late in the year, Belanger made something of an impact when he came back, and the Islanders are expecting him to do more of this year.
Well, in reality, what it did was it cost Mick Vukota his job, and he was on a one-way ticket at a $500,000 price tag. And Mike Milbury wanted Belanger to grow into that role, and he has done a good job in doing that. Won himself a job. Kevin Stevens and Rich Pilon. Wow, what a matchup. We showed you that hit in '93 at Pilon. Here they are back at it again, and Kevin Stevens has made a point that he wants to get back and play the kind of hockey that he became famous for as a Pittsburgh Penguin. Twice 40-plus goals, twice 50-plus goals.
And it's green for the Islanders.
Goals.
And it's green for the Islanders, sending Chorsky out. Chorsky has outstanding speed. A drop to Green. He moves in center. Score! Todd Bertuzzi gives the Islanders a 2-1 lead.
Pretty passing play, no doubt about this one. No one with their skates in the goal crease. And the Islanders, Travis Green, after Chorsky had started the play to the center ice area. Bertuzzi was the guy that hacked the stick of the defenseman. The Rangers broke it, and then they followed up the ice. And Cherkovsky, Travis Green, watch on the left side of your screen there as Todd Bertuzzi moves up. Travis Green sees him. He's got his head up here. He knows he's there, wants to get the puck to him. Nowhere to go, but in the net, Richter has to hold against Travis Green.
Boy, you know, you just said a mouthful about Bertuzzi and Green knowing each other are there, because even though they start tonight on different lines, don't you think that clearly Bertuzzi's best?
So they picked up Mariusz Cherkovsky, and they wanted some veteran leadership. They got Mike Huff, and their penalty killing was a problem last year, and Sergei Nemchinov is a specialist at that. And here we go.
Ty Domi, Ken Belanger, a couple of ex-teammates and the heavyweights on either side, and Belanger, who one of the toughest customers in the league, is on the losing end of that one against the Leafs tough guy Ty Domi.
Ken Belanger probably thought that he was only going to get 2 for receiving in this fight, but with 2:33 left, he goes to the penalty box. Belanger and Domi. Here goes Ty Domi. They look at each other. They knew as soon as the puck dropped, let's go. And Ty gets that left hand free, and that was the end of Ken Belanger. Ty with those left hand haymakers. Up.
Well, Belanger has really won the job as the Islander enforcer. Rick Bowness calling him a nuclear deterrent, and he was impressive in a battle last night against Darren Langdon, but Domi gets the best of him here. Hyde, shot stopped by him here. Hyde, shot stopped by Healy, the rebound, scores! Leafs got caught on a line change and a rebound by Sergei Nemchinov.
Here's the puck has to go in deep before you make a line change. And that's not deep. That's at the blue line. Look at how quickly the Islanders turn it around. And here comes the Leafs off the bench. They're still coming off the bench. Glenn Healy makes the save. Nobody's there. The rebound goes out, and Glenn Healy has no chance on the sand wedge. Now watch Healy. He quickly gets up. A rolling puck, he's up, and there's not much room there, but just inside the post and over the shoulder, and everybody covered. Dmitry Yuskevich in particular pushing his check behind the net.
Here's Claude Lapointe dashing in, scores! Claude Lapointe!
Bad goal you can't afford to let in when you know your team is having problems scoring goals. Claude Lapointe, a checker, 2 or 3 shifts a period, goes out, does his job. He's a left-hand shot coming down the right wing, just snaps the wrist shot. Glenn Healy set, but there it goes right through the legs as he moved over. Healy's moving, Lapointe pulls it and shoots, pulls it, opens up the goaltender, and finds the crack between the pads of Glenn.
In the third period on Long Island. And here's another chance in front, looting, and he crashed into Healy. And Jamie McCowan's on top of the rookie, or Yuskevich is on top of the Islander rookie.
Looting went crashing in, and Glenn Healy just stood up and stood with him. And Yuskevich came crashing in, and Glenn Healy was the one who ended up taking the worst of it. But then Yuskevich, if you're going to run the goalie, especially in a 3-0 game, you have to make the guy pay the price. And that's what Yuskevich did.
Right here, Reichel trying to dash after it. He's ahead of Zettler. Well, Reichel turns back. Spots Johnson on the move. Kenny Johnson, rebound, scores! Claude Lapointe has his second of the night.
Johnson has done a good job cutting to the net for the Leafs tonight, but this time he got in behind the Islander net and he throws it out blind. You can see Johnson, he's in behind the net, just fires it out. And here we go. Robert Reichel has a chance on the breakaway. Everybody's pitching in, Gustafsson and Zettler. Here goes Robert Reichel. Now everybody concentrates on Reichel. The Leafs get back. Gustafsson and Zettler get back. Now nobody picks up Kenny Johnson. Look at everybody. They're looking around, watching the puck. Here comes Johnson right down the pipe. Claude Lapointe gets open. Rebound off of Glenn Healy. In front, in it goes. We're going up.
Back up the wall. Bertuzzi's best.
Salo sweeps and Berard turns. On the mark for Robert Reichel. Reichel hooks off. Hits the trailer. Brian Berard right up the gut. Wrist shot, score! Brian Berard trims the Caps lead to 1.
Wow, great look by Reichel, and Brian Berard sneaks behind 3 Caps defenders, going wide away from the box, and that's just a heck of a wrist shot by the youngster. I mean, he was unbelievable. 8 goals last year. Here he gets a goal. Nice plays, riding a 3-game point streak with 4 points. And there's that play by Reichel. And look at how 3 Caps got caught on one side. Then with a little traffic, Brian Berard takes one more step, and that's enough to open up the 5-hole of Olaf Kolzig. Watch that little step right there. Takes that little step, leans, and that forces Kolzig to open up his legs. He puts her home on a wrist shot, the most...
4 tied up, and it's Lachance.
Wrist shot, the most...
4 tied up, and it's Lachance starting the rush. 1 man back for the Kings. Palffy carries in with Lachance. Palffy shoots, he scores! 1-0 Islanders, number 5 for Zygmunt Palffy.
Talked about 2-on-1s in hockey games, and there was a perfect example. Zygmunt Palffy finds the 5-hole on Shabbat. And Larry Robinson sees his Los Angeles.
Softly into Los Angeles ice, forcing Shabbat to handle it. Now Reichel's got it back. Stumpel got it from him. Off the boards, Janssen a drive. Shabbat still doesn't know where it is. It's a goal! It slides behind him, and the Islanders have tied it at 2 apiece.
Kenny Janssen, he fired the puck, thought it was over, he was heading for the Islanders bench. And then gently, quietly, slowly, the puck come out from underneath the goaltender, Frederick Shabbat, and trickled across the goal line before he could reach it. So the Islanders, with a surprise goal for themselves and Kenny Janssen, have tied it up here in the third period. There's the puck back. There's the shot. Kenny Janssen is now on his way to the Islander bench. Here's what happens. Whoa, one of the defensemen, one of the forwards, and
Take that personally. Yeah.
of Felix.
It's your option. Do you sign him for his asking price? Detroit Red Wings. Well, here with Fire on Ice on ESPN2, we pride ourselves in covering the long and the short of all the subjects. 6'9" Zdeno Chara will make his National Hockey League debut tonight on the Deuce. He doesn't have to worry about getting a high stick from Darren Pang.
I don't know, I'm not sure, but I think so.
Now for Kozlov. Kozlov slowed down by Claude Lapointe, who made an excellent play defensively, and the Islanders here could have a 2-on-1. It is Webb and Cruz. Paul Cruz cutting in, goes to the forehand. He scores! Paul Cruz looked like he was going to make the backhand pass and put the puck behind Osgood to tie this game.
What a great play from Cruz. They took advantage of Fetisov jumping into the offensive zone, and there was no third man back for the Detroit Red Wings. All three forwards caught deep, and instead of passing it across, which you fully expect because Webb is a right-hand shot, and Webb has that one-time ability from that side, Cruz takes it, he's looking past, but he was given a little bit of room by Pusher, and then makes a strong move, driving it on the short side. Pulls it from the backhand to the forehand. Osgood leaves his post a little bit. When you come across the net like that, the important thing is keeping that left.
Lewis Wilson hands it off to Larry Murphy. Intercepted by Palffy. Scooting in with a chance. Save made. Rebound score! Sigmund Palffy was stopped by Osgood, but boy, you can't give him a second chance. And Palffy, who was robbed by Osgood on the first good scoring chance of this hockey game, makes no mistake here.
Good puck pursuit and pressure on Larry Murphy. Palffy takes advantage. The first shot, a nice save by Osgood. The rebound lies there before Lidstrom can get to Palffy. And Palffy just follows it up right here. He doesn't stop. He doesn't go away. He goes right to the net, right to the puck. And he finishes it off with the go-ahead goal of Montreal Canadiens. Montreal Canadiens and Paul Maurice are all younger than Slava Fetisov. Scotty Bowman, though, is the oldest coach in the National Hockey League. By far the most experienced, too.
Here's a chance off the face-off. Left-hand save by Osgood. Loose puck is still there. Chorsky with a chance. Scores! Tom Chorsky shoved it underneath Osgood, who thought he had it covered. And again, off a face-off deep in the offensive zone. It's been the Red Wings that have taken advantage, and now the Islanders have regained the lead at 3-2.
Third goal of the year for Tom Chorsky, and he has had a real good start so far. The faceoff looked like it was won by the Red Wings. Everybody seemed to be tied up, but the New York Islanders feisty in front of the net, and Chorsky never gives up. And this is just a broken down play, and he just never quits on it. He drives through a little bit of a hole. Osgood's a little awkward right there, anticipating something not occur in a strong hockey club when they play to their potential.
Final seconds ticking off the clock. Murphy tries to shoot it. It was blocked by Webb, and Webb and Shanahan get the sticks up on each other, and the gloves come off. So a little bit of late frustration here.
Right at the whistle, so, I mean, the play was still going on when they were battling. And you're right, some frustration as well. Remember, Webb early in the game got Joey Kosher off his game a little bit. Kosher ended up being injured and never returned. So Webb added some spark when called upon.
Well, cooler heads are going to prevail here. Brendan Shanahan and the Detroit Red Wings lose to a team that has been red hot on the road, much like the Red Wings. The Red Wings record much better away from Joe Louis Arena than it is here, and the frustration of losing on home ice showing in the closing seconds. Brendan Shanahan's expression may say it all. And he hasn't had enough.
Hockey League. Pittsburgh with screen. Travis Green breaks in. Jimmy Waite, kick save. Paul Cruz, good first period for him. Absolutely crushing Michel Petit in the corner. And then with a scoring chance, he comes around the net, tries a backhand, but hits the post. Late in the first, more Islanders. As Nemchinov brings it in, he feeds Ziggy Palffy, but wait! In there for Hobby Boone, makes a nice save. 3 minutes to go, Isles get on the board. Berard's pass will tip off a skate. Claude Lapointe buries a loose puck. His 6th goal of the year. Isles up 1-0 after 1. Second period. Tommy Salo, thirsty and focused. Teppo Newman in the blast. Goes wide to Keith Tkachuk. Robbed by Salo. Tkachuk cannot believe this, and you'll see why. Watch the replay. Salo reaches back. That looked like a surefire goal, but Salo said, Later in the second now, Todd Bertuzzi beats Newman. Newman, perhaps Phoenix's best defenseman, beaten there, 2-0 Isles. More Isles now. Watch Robert Reichel. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000. 7 seconds to do something, then he sneaks it past Waite. Jimmy Waite distracted by Brian McCabe coming in. Watch Waite get distracted right there, and Reichel made him pay. Third period, Isles shorthanded, doesn't matter. McIver breaks in. Berard gets back to knock the puck away. Tommy Salo stayed sharp. McIver brings it in, fires a shot, but Salo is there to glove it. On the replay, Salo able to make the save, even though Bob Corkum is in the crease distracting him, and it really didn't matter. Later in the third now, Palffy picks it up. Here comes Ziggy. Ziggy zagging. Got a goal. His 15th of the year, and the Isles win it by the score of 4-0. Salo's second shutout this season, 7th of his career. He made 22 saves.
Had all year. Save. Rebound Reichel, and that's blocked before it can reach Hasek. Good keep at the line by Berard. 45 left to the power play. Palffy controls the bouncing puck. Sets up Berard. His drive sails wide. Rebound Reichel right through the crease. Rebound. Score! Janssen! Power play goal. 1-0 Islanders.
Good motion by the power play, something they haven't used for a long time, Howie. Watch on the replay the secret. Berard, first of all, there he is, yelling, I want the puck. He's in the right position. He misses the net on the deflection. Now watch the goaltender. He's laying down back to the play when Kenny Janssen fired it in. An unusual...
Right him in, but Holzinger keeps the puck before giving it up to Janssen. I wonder if all fans know about those pucks being frozen. Here's Palffy setting up Reichel. Score!
Safe to say, they're back. Beautiful passing play. Breakdown by Buffalo defensively. Robert Reichel takes the pass from Palffy. It was the lead pass to Palffy that broke the Islanders loose through the middle of the ice. Here Palffy on the left side of your screen. Little dump pass. Deflected by Robert.
Barnaby finds Groshek behind the net. That's Lapointe pestering him. And Huda hit by Holzinger, but now Barnaby and McCabe look like they're ready to go. Nobody's been able to unload yet. McCabe trying to sneak in a right hand there.
Well, they get a hold of each other's sweaters, and only those little short push kind of punches is the only things that'll work. So they can't. They're not going to let go of the other guy's sleeve because that's the punching arm. And in hockey, you have to have one hand on the sweater and the other to punch with.
Well, even though Matthew Barnaby wound up on the bottom, he's feeling a little better about things lately. Mentioned that he had a lot of trouble adjusting to life after Ted Nolan. Barnaby said he wouldn't
snap. Jitnik gives the puck.
Barnaby said he wouldn't
snap. Jitnik gives the puck up.
Islanders have already changed up. Now they've got Smolinski and Shorsky up front. Chance and McCabe back. And McCabe.
Anything to kill this penalty.
It's over now as Shatan plays it deep. It's caught on top of the net. Then it's knocked off. Was there a whistle? Oh, there will be now. play slowed down as if to indicate that Mark Fawcett had blown the play dead. And now everybody gets into it. Question is, what exactly are they into?
Kenny Johnson and Brown, Curtis Brown. That's what the trouble is. That's where guys get their hands cut and get injured. When players start falling over top of each other, they get their hands down on the ice sometimes. Darius Kasparaitis, one that comes to mind, I am reminded. Getting his hand cut under those circumstances. What Travis Green is really trying to do is just get the guys away. Kenny Johnson into.
And out of Palffy. He and Jitnik come together. Mark Fawcett, the referee, says, "Let me out of here." Berard's shot knocked down. Reichel follows. He scores! Power play goal. 3-0. Islanders.
Hasek is upset, Howie. He heard it. He didn't see it. There was a wall built in front of him, and that puck went off the goalpost, I believe, to his left. Let's take a look at the wall that's built. There's Berard's. There's the shot. Deflected, and there's the out. No, that went right between his knees. That puck went through the 5-hole, something you don't see happen that often with Dominik Hasek. And the puck is back. Berard's shot is blocked on the way in. There, blocked. Now Hasek starts up, and then just as he starts up, there's the shot by Robert Reichel. Option here. Move it up to me.
He'll see his teammates call him, and he smelled breakaway, but it didn't get that far.
Look out.
Hasek down the backhander, they score! A short-handed goal by Zygmunt Palffy.
I know that would have been able to do what he did, Howie. I suppose some of it out of frustration because he wants a goal. He's danced in this hockey game. Danced on his skates, that is. Hasek makes a big mistake here. He goes out, boom. Actually, it wasn't his mistake. It was the defenseman. How in heaven's name did he ever hit his goaltender on the feet just like that? Who was he going to give it to? Look at Palffy. What a great second effort as he pops the puck in between the sprawling feet. Smell it. What a mistake.
Bob Boughner.
What a mistake.
Bob Boughner to Jason Woolley on the Buffalo defense. Green just holding up Primo. McCabe works it around the boards. Oh, Cruz just got his stick up on Boughner, and look out now. A couple of side issues have developed. Barnaby just broke through. He wants to go at Cruz, who's waiting for him. Now, Cruz was being held off by one of the linesmen. Barnaby broke loose. I'm not sure if the other linesman had control of Barnaby when he broke loose, but right here you see Huda
and
wrestled to the ice by Bob Boughner. And remember, Huda took a vigorous charge at one of the Sabres earlier in the third period. I wonder whether or not Barnaby was being held off. I was watching Cruz, and one of the linesmen had Paul Cruz, and then Barnaby came flying after Paul Cruz. Curious whether or not he escaped the grasp of a linesman, which would cost Barnaby a lot more in terms of penalty time, which at this point would only be accounting with 42.2 seconds to go.
Well, you got the linesmen. They weren't going to fight until the linesman got there, and now Boughner and Doug Huda.
A lot of this animosity directed towards Doug Huda stems from the charge that he took when he went halfway across the ice to nail Michael Pekka earlier in the third period. And there were some other more subtle incidents earlier in the night. Well, here we go with Brian McCabe and Wayne Primo. And this came basically out of nowhere. A lot of this has been building throughout the game. They're just throwing wild haymakers. I don't know if any of them have landed. Certainly none have been harmful. Now Pierre Champoux and Kevin Collins say that's your night's work. Watch McCabe respond. So they'll have to sort it all out now with only 42.2 seconds remaining in regulation time. The Islanders are going to win this one.
They have come back for a power
ability, offers him the options, and he can get up, take advantage of a scoring opportunity, and still get back.
A chance for Chorsky. He scores! Tom Chorsky ties it at 1 just seconds after the power play expired.
Fans here don't like it. The Islanders love it because now they've tied the score with just about 3.5 minutes to go in the first period. A beautiful shot by Tom Chorsky, top right-hand corner, just under the crossbar, inside the goal post. Puck wouldn't sit down for a moment. Smolinski finally gets it to move to the front of the net. Raymond Bourque had a chance. The puck jumped over his stick before anybody gets to
Smolinski in the box, the third power play for Boston. They've only had one shot on their prior two. Pilon runs Hines into the corner. Loose puck recovered. Allison shot, a pad save, and there's going to be a penalty here. Oh, Pilon just got clubbed by the stick of, I believe that was Donato, and now it's all breaking loose.
Wow. A two-hander, vicious two-hander, Howie. Pilon tried to get at him, and I believe if it was Donato, I thought it might have been Allison down on the ice. He almost looked like he was using his skate blades to keep Pilon from getting to him. Ugly scene. Too bad. That's Donato getting up now. Allison's there. But a two-hander on Rich Pilon. He's reaching across the side of his jaw as if that's where he took it. It'll be interesting. Donato has gone to the bench. Is he going to the dressing room? Yes, he is. I think he's gone, which he should be. If what I saw actually happened the way it appeared to be, Howie, just a malicious.
It should be a match penalty. I mean, that's an obvious attempt to injure.
Yeah, no question about it. That's a linesman talking with the referee. I didn't think there'd be any question in the referee's mind as to what that was all about.
Now, there was going to be a penalty call to begin with, I believe, against the Bruins.
I think it was against the Bruins. One of the Islanders was down, and the referee's arm went in the air. And Pat Burns going to try and figure it out, but he'll probably have to wait, like all of us, till he hears the announcement of the referee, because he's still at the off-ice officials' bench. But the basis of it all was a vicious two-handed slash near the head of Rich Pilon.
Eddie, I'll be shocked if it's not a match penalty.
I have to agree. Let's take a look. That's Allison. There's the hit from behind. That was the penalty on Ted Donato. And right here, look at this. Wham! I'm hoping that most of that was across his shoulder. It doesn't matter. If you use your stick in that kind of a circumstance with that kind of a force. Now watch his feet. Look at here, right up to the head. As Rich Pilon tries to fight through a kicking Ted Donato. Ugly scene.
I mean, you know, conceivably the Islanders can have 7 minutes of power play time.
Oh yes, very easy. I know the thing I can't understand, and I know that you have. Here's the call.
2 minutes cross checking, 2 minutes roughing. Boston penalty is number 21, Ted Donato. 2 minutes charging, 5-minute major high sticking D is conduct.
2 for charging, 5-minute major for high sticking,
and a game misconduct.
And a game misconduct. So
clear by Chorsky. Clear by Chorsky. Smolinski chasing as he steps out of the box. Here comes Smolinski. He's in, but he flubs the shot. Rebound, score! Palffy! And it's 2-1, Islanders!
It all all started at the Islanders' end. I talked about the patience, Howie, the patience of the penalty killers. This time it was Tom Chorsky. He was the guy that set it up. He was the guy that was patient in front of Tommy Salo after Salo stood up. Made a couple of good moves. Chorsky moved the puck out of the end. It was Smolinski coming out of the penalty box. Let's take a look. The Bruins, there's the shot. Good stop. There's Chorsky's little chip. Out of the box comes Smolinski. He's onside. He grabs the puck. Good poke check by Defoe. And then Palffy following up.
The puck, though. 22 to the power play. Berard to Green. Berard now to Janssen. Pressure from Axelson. Palffy pressured as well. Moved it quickly to Berard. Down low, Reichel. He shoots, but it's blocked. Rebound, score! Travis Green on his 27th birthday. A rebound goal on the power play, and it's 3-1 Islanders.
10 seconds remaining. They still got power play time, but they don't care. They got what they wanted. They've got a 2-goal lead now, and we're not halfway through the second period of the hockey game. Pat Burns, get them off the ice. Too many loose pucks. Travis Green able to take advantage of one in front of the Boston net. Take a look. There's the play by Reichel. Shot, dribble.
Axelson for Boston.
Shot, dribble.
Axelson for Boston. That's to the Islander line. Put aside by Smolinski. Axelson was run in hard by Chorsky.
Everybody looking for a penalty. Every time they get touched in this hockey game now, everybody looking at the referee saying, what the heck's going on? That should be a penalty.
18 to go in the period. Janssen steps up, shoots one, save made, rebound, score! Todd Bertuzzi, a power play goal, and the Islanders take a 4-3 lead.
A big mistake by the Boston Bruins. Pat Burns, he recognized it, and you make the team pay. And Todd Bertuzzi standing up front all alone, nobody near him, made them pay. Boston had an opportunity to clear the puck out of there. Taylor in the penalty box, but Todd Bertuzzi with his 6th goal of the season. Watch the front of the net. There's the puck. There's Bertuzzi. Shot, rebound. Bertuzzi under Defoe. The Islanders have regained the lead. 4-3. Kenny Janssen, good shot. Low on the net. Wide. Look at all the Islanders. Low on the net. Wide. Look at all the Islanders standing and to come in, and now we're going to have a fight.
Well, this is designed, I'm sure, by Paul Cruz to try and get the Islanders awakened. He and Denny Lambert are trading right hands. I don't know how many of them have landed, but they sure have thrown him pretty hard. And now Cruz gets Lambert up against the glass. Elbow pads flying off. Somehow the helmets have stayed on. Well, that's the end of one of them. Cruz has lost his. Lambert trying to go over the top. Now has lost his helmet.
Boy, I'll tell you what, there's some punches landed here. There was some uppercuts, some right hands over the top. That's a tiring fight, trying to do it that way as Paul Cruz trying to get his hockey club up and going. Lambert is the guy that he wanted to take a bite out of. Paul Cruz. I don't know whether that's the right thing to do, but it's frustrating when you're down.
Sends Lapointe ahead. Lapointe centers. It went past. Cup penalties now over as Pilon steps out of the box. Coming down to 7 minutes remaining in the period. Yashin and Lapointe again. Remember, this started just when Pilon took his penalty. Lapointe and Yashin had shoved each other, and then Pilon came to Lapointe's aid. That's how this one started again. Pilon's right in the middle of it once more. It's Denny Lambert, who's been involved earlier tonight.
I think they're trying to convince Lambert there's been no penalty, no punches thrown, so break it up. Hot spots breaking out. Still Yashin, people trying to get after him. Claude Lapointe, a long time connected with Yashin. Yashin was...
Remember earlier tonight, Lambert and Cruz fought. That's when Cruz tried to issue a wake-up call to the Islanders after the 3rd Ottawa goal. We'll see how power play. Palffy set up. We'll see how power play. Palffy set up, flicked away by Bach. Palffy will try again. Sigmund Palffy in the corner. Out to the point, Berard. He shoots, it's tipped, and Coffey gets it in the corner. Penalty's about to expire. McCabe, a backhander. Stop, rebound, Coffey. He scores! Sigmund Coffey hits the ignition button. Now we'll see if the Islanders take off. It's 3-1 Ottawa.
16.9 seconds remaining in the second period. The Islanders desperate. And Sigmund Coffey, the guy that's been there all season long, somehow finds a way to get this puck into the net. There, mishandled it the first time. Instinctively spun around, backhanded it. It hit the goaltender. He had his left pad laid down there. And then Coffey's backhand hit him.
From my brother Edward.
Pilon. Jumps for Lachance. Lachance on the wing here for Paul Cruz. Cruz into the offensive zone. Lapointe lets one go. Scores! Mark Fitzpatrick was down and Lapointe beats him far side. A 1-0 Islander lead. Third straight game on this road trip that the home team, the Panthers' opposition, has scored first. Of course, Florida won the previous two.
Well, for the Florida Panthers, just a bit of a miscue. It's back checking that you need. You see Cruz has the puck. He drops it to Lapointe.
Now in the shift, sends it on. Blocker save
to Lapointe.
Now in the shift, sends it on. Blocker save by Fitzpatrick, who stands tall. Ray Shepard for Mellenby. Washburn darts down the far side as Huda steps into Mellenby. There's Travis Green. Green with a drive. Rebound, scores! Ken Belanger, and it's 2-1 Islanders.
Well, again, it starts over with the Florida Panthers not making a clean play coming out of their zone. Ray Shepard had plenty of time to make a clean pass across ice, getting the puck out, and he just did not make the right play. The puck did get into the neutral zone off the stick of Mellenby, but right away the Islanders came back, and that's how the goal basically was set up. Panthers a little lax in their own zone. As the puck comes back into the zone, the Islanders getting the shot, and there's the rebound goal by Ken Belanger.
His first of the year, as we get one more look at it, and it's the Pluggers, Denny, that are scoring.
Well, there you see the pass from Shepard to Mellenby. There was Washburn wide was the play to make. Mellenby was...
Ian Johnson with Bill Lindsay. Lindsay throws it into the slot. Fitzgerald can't get to it. And it was Berard that knocked down Tommy Fitzgerald. Here on the right wing, here's Chorsky. Chorsky waits, throws it in front, scores! And it's Bertuzzi who puts the Islanders up by 2.
Well, just as we talked about, Todd Bertuzzi running hot at goal in his play, comes up with a huge goal. But it's a nice setup by Chorsky. There's a Bertuzzi just getting by Rentwater, getting down low, and just no chance. Oh, I'm sorry, the left side of your screen. There is Cartner trying to get back on Bertuzzi.
Washburn just momentarily looked over his left shoulder there, Denny, as he was hooked. I think he was looking for somebody to come down that wing. Back in front, scores! And it's now 4-1. Mark Fitzpatrick beaten high on the stick side.
Defensively, the Florida Panthers showed signs of being very irresponsible in their own zone in the first period. We talked about the turnovers just inside the blue line, and this time you give it to the hottest scorer for the New York Islanders, which is Smolinski. He's been so hot of late, and Eddie Jovanovski trying to beat the
call, Kenny.
It's unbelievable what Yarner Yager means to the offense of this Pittsburgh Penguins hockey club. Played back in, Kasparaitis to set up. Boston edge in behind the net. Palfield pick it off. And to throw it in front, Nemchinov just kind of hanging out. Now Nemchinov in behind the Penguins net. Comes out on the backhand to the line, far side. Quick shot, Berard, and he scores. Brian Berard just picking that puck up in the right circle. And he's got the game tied at 1.
Well, you can't expect you keep it Brian Berard in front of that net, so you got to be very careful where he is all that time. Penguins just doing a little scrambly situation in front of behind that net, gets out in front. Brian Berard just sneaking right into that top of the.
If the score remains at 5-1 with now 2:40 remaining in the third period. Well, Pilon and Rob Brown now, and now Pilon's going to go with Tamer.
Well, Tamer was upset with Pilon. He was taking advantage of some of the players like Brown and Moran. And Tamer said, if you want to tangle with somebody big, I'm a number 2 and you're a number 2, and let's have at it.
And the rule is if you fall on top, you win the fight.
Yeah, but you got to hold his shoulders down for the patented 1, 2, 3. But he didn't do that.
Pilon spun around. Did he hurt his hand in that fracas?
Well, there's always a danger in that happening. And Kevin Collins trying to make sure that Pilon doesn't sneak one in as they're getting up.
Well, Rich will be finished for the night, as will Chris Tamer. The Islanders will have to forget about this one.
Rob Brown had a lot to say to Rich Pilon, and Pilon wanted a chunk of Brown. He was the guy that Pilon ran at and took the initial penalty that started all of this. As Brown heads over to the bench, revived ex-NHLer out of the IHL. Here's the shot. Boom. There's the elbow. Tremendous. Look at the cross-check. Vicious cross-check by Pilon. He's frustrated as well. And then Tamer. Now, I don't remember whether Tamer was on the ice. And then Rich Pilon. He's having words with Brown, and he tried to spin away from Kevin Collins. Good job here by Kevin Collins. He may have saved Rich Pilon some money. And but that gives you an idea how mad he is about the way things are going. And after this game, the Islanders continue on Wednesday, play the Avalanche, and then Friday out in Dallas. Right behind that, Saturday at Phoenix, to come home and face the same Pittsburgh Penguins and the Montreal Canadiens, 6th and the 8th. These are all things that went positive. These are all things that went positively in the Islanders for the Islanders early on. Now here's McCabe. Who'd he go after? That was away behind the play.
The puck was up by the Islander blue line, and then McCabe.
As a player, I never liked this either, Howie. I mean, as far as that goes, what did somebody do to McCabe? I mean, if this is his frustration, he should have been that adamant in the beginning of the hockey game. He might have set the tone for the team.
I'm still trying to see who it is that he had. Watch those skates. Those skates coming up. Almost nailed the linesman, Kevin Collins. Remember what we saw with Ted Donato in Boston last week when his legs started flailing. Had to call and apologize to Rich Pilon as much for that as he did the slash across the side of the head.
I think that's Brian McCabe's skates that are up in the air. The referee's trying to get the Pittsburgh player. He's looking to throw one in there. That's good. That's what I like to see referees. I mean,
it's Tyler Wright, by the way, the Pittsburgh player.
Maybe just, you know, to make sure that the players know that that's it. It's over and forget about it. You're out of here. So we're having a long last 2.5 minutes to this hockey game. If you're still watching and listening. There's two ways, Howie, if you want to send a message.
Strudwick here on Donovan was in too deep.
And it cost him a great scoring opportunity, Howie. Huey Krupp passing instead of shooting, and here we go.
In front of the net, Odgers and Jason Strudwick, the Islander rookie defenseman.
Well, I know that Odgers went last year with Paul Cruz in a hockey game, and here Strudwick handles himself very well with Odgers, and maybe it's not finished yet.
Strudwick should handle himself well. He's a big boy.
Yes, he is. He wants to win a job on this hockey club, and standing up. A 6'3", 230-pound, 22-year-old.
Palffy who sends Nemchinov. Palffy who sends Nemchinov ahead. Sergei Nemchinov put it off Forsberg's skate. Reichel has it back though, feeds the slot. Nemchinov to Palffy who shoots, but it's blocked by foot. Palffy wheeled it back in front. Nemchinov takes it behind the net. Nemchinov centers, he scores! Nemchinov banked it in off of either Waugh or Gusarov. Or so it appears, and the Islanders have cut it to 2-1.
I believe it was Gusarov, Howie, unless Waugh got his stick out there on it, but that's what happens when your territorial play starts to improve, which is what the Islanders have been doing. They've been in that end of the ice. Nemchinov goes behind, and here moves it, trying to move it to the front of the net. I think it caromed off Gusarov and then possibly off Patrick Waugh, but it doesn't matter to the Islanders. This is not
Fischel alert, steers it aside. And now back behind the net, LeChance gets it back, but Corbet, this is a little bit behind the play, Rene Corbet and Rich Pilon. That's not going to hurt Pilon, but it may hurt Corbet's knuckles. He's saying, take that thing off with the visor, so Pilon accommodates it.
Yeah, well, Rich Pilon, he'll accommodate.
Well, you know, if Pilon looked a little extra mad there, you could just add up what you saw. I mean, I would almost guarantee that Corbet challenged him to get rid of the helmet because he wears the visor.
Well, that's I think just about anybody that goes after Rich Pilon, and he's, as I say, he's very accommodating when it comes to that because he's not afraid of anybody, and Corbet will find that out as Rich Pilon took the helmet off himself and said,
Brings it towards the net. Janssen steps. Janssen has it back. Kane Jackson in deep with Belanger, Perkis, and then Hatcher bump Belanger. And now Lapointe gets it loose. Load Lapointe throws it at the net, he scores! Roman Turek wants to know whether or not this one needs to be reviewed. If it stands, it'll be a 2-1 hockey game.
Just what the doctor ordered, but right now there seems to be a question. The two linesmen are talking to the referee. I didn't see anything unusual unless there was a high stick involved. And right now, Claude Lapointe talking with Don Van Massenhoven. Ken Belanger, did he deflect it? Claude Lapointe shot it. It is going to review. Here's the puck over on the left side. There's the shot. Oh, it's a hand.
Yeah, clearly his hand.
He knocked it down, and I guess it'll have to.
And Isbister brings the Coyotes back. He's got Roenick with him and shoots, and a save by Tommy Salo.
That's something different from earlier in the year. Isbister would have tried to make a move. Something else going behind the play.
Now Roenick and LeChance were giving each other a few dukes in front of the net. And they'll drop the gloves and go. Jeremy Roenick squaring off with Scott LeChance, who made the All-Star game last year when Ziggy Palffy was hurt. And the pin goes to Jay Scherz and Wayne Bonney, the tag team linesmen.
JR trying to mix things up early. What happened? He ended up getting pushed from Tommy Salo. Turned around to give him a dirty look, and that's where LeChance came into play. LeChance really didn't want to scrap here at this point. But here's that big shot. You see JR driving hard to the net, and that's the key part. Now here comes the push by Salo right at the end there. There's the shot after JR was coming out, and there's where the pushing and shoving. LeChance comes to the aid of his defenseman, and he does.
Side, now he motors down the
of his defenseman, and he does.
Side, now he motors down the corner. Taken down by Tchaikovsky. The puck alive right on the end boards in the Islanders zone. Just over 3 minutes into the third. 1-0 Coyotes. Nemchinov slings it away. Here comes Robert Reichel now. In with a drive and a goal by Huff. Dave Huff gets his first goal of the year. The grizzled veteran ties this game at 3:15 in the third. It's 1-1.
Defenseman jumping up into the play, and just a slight pass from Reichel gets the puck to Doug Hoyda, who had jumped up in the play. It was a great 2-on-2 play as far as Cliff Ronning coming to back up. Remember, Darren Quinn had jumped into the play, but Reichel just slid that puck through the middle to Hoyda, and there was just a small hole that he was able to find the pass. There's Cliff Ronning right there. He's in good position. He's going to go all the way across the ice, take up Doug Hoyda. Here's a little backhand right there.
Here comes Kozlov taking that pass. Kozlov cuts into the middle. Oh, and he's hit. Oh, you cut in the middle, you're going to pay the price. There's a shot, scores! A terrific shot from Tom Charsky. It's 1-0 Islanders.
Hard to believe a turnover inside the opposition blue line can turn into a goal at the other end, but that's just what happened. When Kozlov cut to the middle, there were 4 Islanders there. Down they came. The head man pass to Charsky, and he beats Hodgson from far too far out. It looks like Kevin Hodgson might have overplayed this to the short side. That's a 50-foot shot, 45 to 50 feet.
Guy down. If he's going to fight, he's going to try and win the fight. That's just the way he is.
But I've learned, a lot from that, in the fighting aspect where, it was kind of stupid, trying to, guys are too strong to try and just throw punch for punch in this league now, and I got to be a lot smarter, and I realize that now.
Sounds like Belanger is going to try using instead of bruising his head.
Oh, we saw another example of that on Thursday in Philadelphia when Belanger got involved in a fight with Luke Richardson of the Philadelphia Flyers. Remember, Richardson had given Brian Smolinski a pretty good knee-to-knee check, and the next time that Richardson came onto the ice for a regular shift after coming out of the penalty box, well, Ken Belanger went right after him and they got involved in a fight. And those aren't things that just come out of nowhere. They send messages to teammates. Couldn't do it.
Enough.
Had all year. Remember, he's a free agent at the end of the year. Sam Marciano takes a closer look at the Chief.
Old-time hockey. Maybe you remember how hard-hitting and gritty the National Hockey League was, or maybe you've just heard about it. But for a player who's considered a throwback to those romanticized times, it can't touch today.
The game has changed from being, it went from being a really tough fighting to more skilled with the European players coming in. And now it's, there is body checking. The hits, I think, are harder now than they were back then. Maybe they're not as often, but they are harder just because of the size of the players have gotten so much bigger. Everybody's bigger and stronger.
As a rugged defenseman who's made a 10-year NHL career out of throwing his body around, Rich Pilon should know.
My game is to finish hard on my checks, keep our end clean. And if I'm not doing that, I'm not going to play.
Pilon grew up in Saskatchewan and didn't play organized hockey until he was 16 years old. He says that not learning hockey systems put him at a disadvantage at a young age, but he's also aware that being in touch with his inner child has helped him a lot in the NHL. I've always been, I guess, a brat as a kid and hard to control, and I still am, I guess, and I've always been reckless. I've always played with older kids. I always used to be like the one who used to start the little skirmishes in soccer or, flag football. I always want to hit somebody, and also I was sitting on the side, taking a timeout, I guess you want to call it. And I was always reckless since I was young, and it's just carried over to now. That Pilon continues to hit so hard despite a laundry list of injuries is what makes him such a warrior.
I was going through your history, and I was wondering, if I gave you the injury, could you tell me the year? Nope. I could not even tell you, because I have to fill out an insurance form every year, and every year I have to go to the trainers and ask them, because it's so big. There's a whole list. There's I've missed almost 300 some games over injuries, and from Charlie horses to knee injury, light sprain to my ankle, and there's a ton. It's there's a big list there. It's like you just keep going and keep going and keep going. I couldn't even tell you.
Of all the injuries, from a career-threatening eye injury he suffered in his second season to the surgery he had on his wrist, the injury that's had the most impact on his physical game is a nagging groin injury that dates back to February of 1995.
Once you're playing, you forget about it, but there's always, it's always in the back of my mind at times. Thanks.
Just
From there, well, we'll never find out, because there goes the stick, hits the puck, forces Robert Reichel to go wide. A penalty shot coming now for Robert Reichel. Watch to see if Reichel takes the puck in a shooting position, or does he stick handle in with the puck in front of him. I'll almost bet that Reichel will take the puck in shooting position. That gives him two options. He can shoot the puck, or he can pull Burke, the goaltender.
The 15th penalty shot of the National Hockey League. And here comes Robert Reichel. He cocks now, shoots, and scores! Reichel buries a backhander on the penalty shot. 4-0 Islanders.
He did just that, Howie. He held the puck, He held and froze Burke, the goaltender. He had to stay where he was, and then he pulled it to the backhand, and it was in the net. 4-0 now, a penalty shot. Watch what he does. Now he's got it in shooting position right there. He can shoot it or he can pull it. He fakes the shot, freezes the goaltender, and then beats him with a beautiful move by Robert Reichel. Penalty shot. The 8th one scored on this year.
Shanahan missed one, but Pavel
scored on this year.
Shanahan missed one, but Pavel Bure scored one.
Mogilny scored one. He was the last one until Robert Reichel scored.
Wade scored one. Here's a backhander for Smolinski. Save made. Rebound score. Sigmund Palffy beats the clock with 0.7 of a second remaining in the second period. Sigmund Palffy makes it 5-0 Islanders. And they're howling here in Tampa, but not the way they howl in Phoenix.
Trying to play off the clock, trying to run it down to next to nothing, and Jacques Demers looks up to see that there's only 0.7 of a second, 0.7 of a second remaining. The Islanders coming in, they're just kind of lackadaisically. It was a rebound play, popped into the top of the net by Sigmund Palffy, and we get another look from ice level. Wow, not clearing the puck at all. Brian Marchment. All he had to do is take the puck and move it off to the side. Fans very, very upset here as they boo the end of the second period. Palffy is correct. In other words, the contract was down about 15 or 16. Here we got a little battle going on now. Doug Huda.
Jason Weimer. More wrestling than anything for the time being. Certainly frustration on the part of the Lightning. And Doug Huda, too, has been scratched recently and hasn't had a whole lot of ice time. And both of them trying to land right hands. Now Huda's helmet knocked off by Weimer. And Weimer decisions Huda.
Well, he snuck a left hand in on Dougie Huda. I don't know that he hurt him with it, but fans finally get something to stand up and cheer about. But just finish it who they're talking about. But just finish it who they're talking about as the purchaser.
Yeah, I just asked, and we haven't found anything out yet. Shorsky centers, quick shot, score, Robert Reichel. So Reichel gets it right back, and it's 6-1 Islanders.
Pretty feed from Tom Chorsky. Robert Reichel featured second period highlights, his penalty shot. And this one, not so much a penalty shot, looked much similar to the play that he got the penalty shot on. Here, going off to the left from a bad angle, at least a sharp angle. Robert Reichel in falling. Watch again, Tom Chorsky stops quickly, a little dump feed, 2-on-1 break. And
like that here in the Florida sun. Palffy over the line. Drop pass. Reichel sets up Pilon for a shot off the glove of Burke. And the rebound pushed to the goal line. The Islanders think they've scored. Burke was atop the puck. The red light never went on. Palffy thought he had one. I don't know if they're going to go upstairs or not. There's an argument being started now by Rob Zaminer. The red light never went on, and the referee, Mark Fawcett, never signaled goal.
I think the goal judge may have gone home, Howie. I think it's a review. I think one of the linesmen may have said that he thought the puck... Oh,
that's a goal.
Right here. You see where his glove is? And here's the goal line there. The glove is inside the goal. So that's a goal. How quickly did he pull it back across the line? Doesn't matter. Somebody saw that it had broken the plane. It was in. It's a 6-7 now, excuse me. 7-1. Now, Rich Pilon started this play with a pretty good attempt to put the puck in the net, which was stopped. It was off the rebound that Sigmund Palffy jammed it.
Sing it up. Nobody involved.
Quieted the Eric Daze trade rumors down, which had him going everywhere except Chicoutimi. Jeff Shantz out of the corner on a whistle because behind the play, Reed Simpson and Jason Strudwick. Mano a mano. I don't know how many of either of their punches landed, but they've both thrown some haymakers here.
Well, Strudwick is not small by any means, Howie. He's 6'2" and 6'3", as a matter of fact, 230. So he should be able to, at least size-wise, that doesn't guarantee that he's a good fighter, but they needed some toughness, and he is to provide some of that.
This is only Simpson's 12th game of the year. He's had some injury problems. And Strudwick hanging in toe-to-toe with him. We mentioned that this is the reason, not this particular fight necessarily, as Strudwick falls on top, thereby claiming victory. Strudwick is in the lineup tonight because the Hawks have some big boys. And with Ken Belanger out, Rick Bowness wanted to make sure he had some extra muscle in the lineup. Strudwick just provided some.
Well, you noticed at the end, they give far in this is 12th game of the year.
Speaking of fighters, how about Mick Vukota, now a Montreal Canadian? Onside Bertuzzi, a breakaway. He shoots, he scores! Todd Bertuzzi gets the Islanders on the board. It's 3-1 Chicago.
Oh, beautiful play. Finally, the Islanders find the guy open and get him the puck. He wasn't offside. There wasn't any icing. And Todd Bertuzzi with a beautiful move on Jeff Hackett. A couple of moves, and Bertuzzi, his 7th goal. There's the pass. A reverse angle. He kicked it ahead at the blue line. He faked right, went back left, and beat Hackett, where a lot of guys could not have done it before. But here, there was a shot, a save by Tommy Salo and Kip Miller. Salo will get an...
Al Berard has it back.
Out there with him.
Drops it. Courtnall shot smothered by LaChance. Courtnall trying to pry it loose. LaChance got it to Palffy. Zygmunt Palffy tugged that. Got around one. Palffy has help. Fires when he scores! Zygmunt Palffy! And Reichel coming down the other side. This time Ziggy fired, and he's tied the game at 3.
What a blast by Zygmunt Palffy. He was so determined that he was going to put this one in, even if he had to put it through Grant Fuhr. He had no question in his mind. There was no passing. He was shooting, and it went right between the feet of Grant Fuhr. A tremendous blast. Watch the move here by Palffy off the boards. Beautiful move as he steps around, and then bang. So fast, so quick. Zygmunt Palffy looking a lot more like himself on this particular shift. Another player that has not had a long...
Al Berard has it back. Kenny Janssen, by the way, not on the Islander bench, nor has he been on the ice in the 3rd period. Strudwick shot, save, rebound, score! Paul Cruz with his 2nd goal of the year, and the Islanders now to within 4-2.
Well, the last time he scored a goal, Howie, the Islanders won. They beat the Detroit Red Wings back on November the 19th, 3-2. Maybe there's an omen here. Trefilov has replaced Jeff Hackett, and Paul Cruz. Here, a broken play. Was it offside? Almost appeared to be, but there.
The Islanders, on a goal by Brian Smolinski, lead the Blues at the end of 1. There are, however, a couple of Islanders who will not play for them any longer this season. Our injury update starts with Eric Fischel. We're going to show you how this happened. The shoulder surgery was performed a couple of days ago by Dr. Steve Nicholas. And, you know, if he wants to play hockey in May, if he could find a team to play for, so be it. That's the earliest he could play. But take a look at how he got hurt. This looks rather innocent, does it not? Simply backs up, falls down, but that aggravated the already problematic shoulder. And that was it for Eric Fischel. That was in a game in the International League against the Houston Aeros, and so Fischel is done, and so is Dennis Vasky. In Vasky's case, probably as a New York Islanders. He's going home to Minnesota now rather than hang out and keep an eye on the club from his Huntington home. And Dennis Vasky at the...
Take a look at some of that high-pressure hockey. You see Paul Cruz take off on the left side. He was covering just to the right of Brian Smolinski. He grabs the puck using McGinnis as a screen as he stole it from Bergevin, and he put it in low side on a 1-0 lead. 8th goal of the season for him. As we watch again, kind of fake, then moved over in front of McGinnis before he shot it.
Smolinski could have had another goal, but Grant Fuhr made an almost unconscious save.
Oh, great move here by Sergei Nemchinov. Timed it perfectly. There's the shot. Partially stopped. Watch the end of the stick. There's the puck. There's the stick. And as it was ready to go across the line, Grant...
On a dart by Al McInnes. Islanders come to center. Smolinski put it behind McCabe. He follows, he scores! Ryan McCabe, nice recovery. Drills it past Fjord. 2-0 Islanders.
Just when you thought the Islanders might be in trouble, St. Louis putting on some pressure, and back to the paper with the pen, Joel Quenneville, as Brian McCabe moved up quickly, joined the offense, took the puck off his skates, I believe it was, as he went across the line, led by Smolinski. Little dish pass into his skates, and then he fought off a stick of McGinnis, and bang! So Al McGinnis has been out there on both Islander goals. Have to assume that his defense partner was out there with him.
Got drops it, Cardinal shots.
Third period, we're tied at 2. Watch this. Kyle McLaren. You want to get good seats at the hockey game? Stay away from the glass. Checks Brian Smolinski, Shatter City. Now you're going to see the goodwill of the NHL players. Smolinski goes over there, makes sure this little guy isn't hurt, telling him not to rub his head because the glass will cut this. NHL players are equipped with first aid, humanitarians. What a bunch of great athletes. They're taking care of that guy right by the boards there. Overtime. The Islanders push it. Robert Reichel. The feed. And Sergei Nemchinov tried to get a stick on it, and Byron Defoe made the stop.
Take that personally. Yeah, I think so. Even though they're a little bit different from last year's playoffs.
Smolinski to Berard, the drive, and a pad save for Odor. The rebound to the slot, pinballs, and is corralled by Sheldon Souray, but he gave it away. Here comes Berard, centering, Coffey, he scores! It's a one-goal New Jersey lead, 3-2 Devils.
Tremendous anticipation by Brian Berard. First the one shot, and Brodeur stops that, and then New Jersey has trouble clearing. Here it is here. Souray, the rookie, throws on his backhand, and Berard stepped in right there. Now a quick pass other side, and the excellent shot, and Brodeur nearly stopped that one as well. I mean, he almost got that one, and you could see all the room, and that twosome right there, the 1-2 punch for the New York Islanders as they have come back for a power ability.
Offers him the off.
His backhand hit.
On behalf of my brother Edward, my co-chairman Stephen Gluckstern, and our other partners Stephen Ross and Dan Doctorow, I'm delighted to finally announce we bought the Islanders. Today we make a personal pledge to create a first-rate experience both on the ice and throughout the Coliseum. Our goal is to give the fans what they deserve, a great hockey team and devoted owners.
Day one of the future of the New York Islanders begins this afternoon at Masterson Acquisitions is clearly Trevor Linden. However, he should be thinking and seeing a lot more clearly today than he was in the Dallas game because of all the fatigue, what with the Olympics and all that. We asked him why, and he understands exactly why he's tired.
Oh, it's just the travel. I mean, you know, it's it's difficult. Your body clock's messed up. You know, in the afternoons you get pretty tired, and then at night you seem to come awake because at nighttime is your daytime in Tokyo. So, you know, it's all backwards for you, and you know, so it takes some time to get adjusted.
Yeah, chase cam replay. As I said, I think there were more than one. You can see Webb. Here he is. You can see where the puck is. As he tracks onto the puck, he locks onto the player right there. Sweeney, boom, double header. It was Claude Lapointe along with Webb putting the big squeeze.
Play team. Linden will be a staple with Reichel and Coffey. Berard straight away. Now to Janssen. Berard again. Challenged by Axelsson. Now Janssen with room. Shoots. They score! It looked to be tipped 1-0 Islanders.
It was Brian Berard that said we got to get shots through to the net. And they did some beautiful passing to finally get the puck to Kenny Janssen. There's a little fake. Janssen, there's his, actually was turning out to be a pass, deflected. And Ray Bourque, I believe, the last person to touch it.
It's been alluded to The Islanders are going to be wearing jerseys different from those which they are wearing this afternoon. I don't know if they'll be the exact replicas of the originals or some hybrid, but right now Jason Strudwick going at it for the Islanders along with Kenny Baumgartner, the former Islander. And Baumgartner just relieved Strudwick of his helmet. And Baumgartner's hockey hat has disappeared. That's a couple of big boys.
Yeah, they are. Strudwick is not what you'd call a good fighter. He'll fight. Obviously, he's doing it there. Baumgartner, a seasoned fighter. He wanted to get over and have a few words with one of the other Islanders. That was Webb, but Ken Baumgartner trying to stir things up. The Boston Bruins don't have a shot on goal yet. I think Webb said something to him. Baumgartner said probably, well, you'll be next. Here's how it got started. Whoa, I'll tell you, what a jolt. That's what hurt Baumgartner. That was a tremendous shot. Strudwick saw him coming, got ready, and then flattened Kenny Baumgartner with a shoulder, a stiff shoulder to his chest.
Bruins can't clear.
Chest.
Bruins can't clear, and the Islanders keep possession. Smolinski to Palffy. Ziggy steps up. Palffy scores!
What a stuff job by Zygmunt Palffy.
2-2 the score, and the Islanders will still have 1:15 of power play time.
The secret to that particular play, the timing of it, Howie, there was no pressure on the Islanders. The fans were trying to hurry them. Watch this. That's what Reichel was trying to do. Palffy had a little more room. Fewer players on the ice, and he got the puck on his forehand. Watch him go here. Protect the puck.
As possible, and that's a tribute to the new ownership.
How long before we see Trotier's jersey up there, do you think?
Well, it's been offered a lot, and we're hopeful that he's going to take advantage of it. We talked again about it. I talked to Brian about it a couple of days ago, and I said, come on, Trotter, we want to see 19 up there. And he said, well, we're getting there.
All right, there's room for number 19 up there. And the Islanders have just scored to cut the lead to 1. Thanks to Bobby Nystrom. Howie, back to you.
Zygmunt Palffy cashes in his second power play goal of the game, and it's 4-3 Boston.
A big goal for the Islanders. They needed it desperately. Things were sagging. But back into the hockey game, a one-timer by Zygmunt Palffy. He is so good at it. The fans are enjoying it. The Islanders are within 1. There's the play. Whoa, Trevor Linden, Zygmunt Palffy, and it's in the lower right-hand corner. 3-2 on that beautiful pass that Palffy was able to convert.
So, minimum of shots that the Dallas Stars give up as opposed to what Buffalo allows. Last night, though, forced up all of 13 shots. And Linden scores! Linden put it off the glove of Byron Defoe, and it's 5-4 Boston.
Well, I'll tell you, for the people that were heading for the exit, you see them heading back in, because now, with 2.5 minutes remaining in the hockey game, there's life in the Islanders. Trevor Linden. You never know. Coaches are always trying to coax players to shoot the pucks. Trevor Linden took a shot. Guess what? Defoe put his glove out, bing, and into the net. So Trevor Linden has given some hope. So as Trevor Linden looks, there's the shot. It looks like it went off the blade of the defenseman, Kyle McLaren, number 18, and somewhat fooled Defoe.
Johnson has it back.
Head coaching up there and really enjoying it, and it was an opportunity, and it worked well with the schedule, so here I am back in town.
The one number that is missing, hanging from the rafters, of course, is your number 19. Has there been any discussion? Can you give us a little hint as to when a retirement ceremony might take place?
I don't know when it's going to happen, but obviously there's been a lot of discussion even in the past about it, but dates have been a problem with myself or with the Islanders here, and timing. You know, obviously this didn't work out. It wasn't the right time, and hopefully in the future it'll happen here real soon.
So no concrete date has been set for later this season or early next year?
None yet, no, but I think for myself I've had no problem with it in the past nor in the future, but if it works well for everybody, and obviously for the fans too, I think it should be a great celebration for everybody.
During our pregame, we pulled some comments from your speech at the Hockey Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. As you look back at standing there at the podium and being inducted into the hall, what goes through your mind?
Oh, great memories of your mom and dad, you know, looking at you as a little kid, skating around the ice, your first pair of skates or a brand new pair of gloves or a new stick and you're taping it up. The fresh smell of the locker room, you know, when it's not all sweaty. I mean, there's a lot of things that go through your mind, but, you know, sipping the champagne out of the Stanley Cup, looking in your teammates' eyes, sharing that moment with fans of Long Island and hearing the roar of the crowd. I mean, all those things just come running through you, and it's very emotional, but also it's like a mini rush, and you kind of got to try to hold yourself together, trying to get all your thank yous in there, but it was a great, great moment.
Of course, a capper to a great career. What was the greatest moment playing for the Islanders?
I had nothing to do with the play, but when Bobby scored that overtime goal that made him a champion for the first time, I can't thank Bobby enough, and John Tonelli, that was a great play. But personally, you know, when you sneak 500 goals in, that was really special, the fans, the response there. From the standpoint of helping Mike get 50 and 50, that was really special. I mean, we went after that. I mean, him and I, we were like, you know, we can do this, you know, and it was really a nice feat for him, so I was happy for that. There were a lot of great moments.
Well, Bryan Trottier, one of the greatest Islanders of all time, perhaps the greatest of all time, and it was good to see him back. And before the game, he and Mike Bossy hooked up once again. Mike Bossy scoring as they combined so often during their illustrious career. Big smiles all around. A big night here at the Nassau Coliseum, and the Islanders leading 2-0 after 1.
Everywhere. Packages to every address in America. P.O. boxes too. We deliver packages to more places than FedEx or UPS. The U.S. Postal Service can take your business around the world. We deliver packages to everyone, everywhere, every day.
Big Game James and the Iceman.
I've been in that situation.
Expert analysis only the pros know.
That's not smart basketball.
Weeknights, Craig Simpson and James Worthy take you inside.
Okay, let's go to the Fox scope.
And tell it like it is.
You can't play like that if you want to win.
Worthy, Simpson, these guys pull no punches.
Now, what was he thinking?
Fox Sports News Primetime, weeknights at 10 on Fox Sports New York.
Get ready, McDonald's has a huge deal coming to the New York tri-state area. Starting this Friday, get a delicious quarter pounder with cheese sandwich for just half price, or a crispy chicken deluxe sandwich for just half price. Did somebody say McDonald's?
Visit the McFamily Activity Center at McDonald's today and pick up your coupons to save $3.50 on tickets to select performances of Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. The greatest show on earth is coming to the New York area March 10th through April 13th.
It's amazing what some people will do to save a little money.
What a piece of work.
Yet with one call to Geico, you could save 15% or more on car insurance. And considering the alternatives, making a phone call is pretty simple.
I got it! Amateur.
Geico Direct. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Promotional consideration is provided by Durasteel by Armatron. Solid stainless steel cases, solid steel bracelets, superb quality and outstanding value. The toughest and best looking watches. Armatron Durasteel, a state of mind and body.
Deb Kaufman back at the sports desk. Ron Wilson's not having a good year after Team USA's debacle in Nagano. He's back at his day job coaching the Washington Capitals, and they're working on a 6-game winless streak. They're down 1-0 already to the Bruins tonight, playing in the second period. The Caps fourth in the conference. Pat Burns and the Bruins are sixth. Some good saves tonight from both Rob Tallis and Ole Kolzig. Adam Oates' shot is stopped by Bruins goalie Rob Tallis, and Peter Bonder's rebound is also stopped by Tallis. Jason Allison puts Boston on the board. He's having a breakout year. The game's first goal, number 23 for Allison again. They're leading at 1-0. Huge game here at the Garden tonight between the Knicks and Nets, and New York is leading New Jersey 46-36, under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Potentially a big problem for New Jersey. Jason Williams trying to grab the rebound, ends up grabbing his hip. Tried twice to come back in, but he's gone back out. So the Nets are playing without his presence inside. For the Knicks, it's Larry Johnson putting the Knicks up 7. Working on Keith Van Horn. LJ makes it 29-22 New York. The Nets staff working on Jason Williams. So far, he has not been able to come back. Even though he failed 8 sobriety tests, Mo Vaughn was acquitted today of drunk driving charges by a jury in Massachusetts. Back to the hockey. The Islanders and Flyers continue in the second period right after this.
You may face some stiff penalties with a checking account at a big New York bank if your balance falls below the huge minimum, for using an ATM, for writing a check. So you may want to open a classic checking account at Home Federal. Balance is down to $100? No penalty. Want to use our ATMs or write a check? No penalty. Hey, it's only fair. At Home Federal, you don't have to go far to get far.
I thought you were starting to go gray.
I was, but I never did.
So what happened, a miracle?
You can't tell?
Tell what?
I use Just for Men.
That's hair color?
Even your barber can't tell you use the hair coloring called Just for Men. Simply shampoo in, then rinse. In only 5 minutes, this unique Just for Men formula blends away the gray, actually matches your gray to your real color.
I never would have guessed.
Just for Men. So natural, even your barber can't tell.
There is a business class seat that tilts as a whole, raising your knees, distributing your weight evenly, and relaxing every part of your body, which makes it oh so easy to drift off. The Club World Cradle Seat, only on British Airways, the world's favorite airline.
It is showtime, baby. A gold medal coming up for the Czech Republic. It is now done.
Welcome back to NHL hockey, the coolest game on earth.
Have you seen a better performance? Skate! Joe Sakic! A magnificent goal! What a play! Yes! What a show!
2-0 Islanders at the end of one. Nemchinov on the power play. Palffy at even strength, but the story, Tommy Salo will show you why right after these messages.
At Chase, your company is in good company, like PhotoFile, a member of Tom Seaver's Business Hall of Fame. Chase, the right relationship is everything.
Everywhere. Packages to every address in America. P.O. boxes too. We deliver packages to more places than FedEx or UPS. The U.S. Postal Service can take your business around the world. We deliver packages to everyone, everywhere, every day.
For most repairs, car mechanics rely on these manuals. But for fixing transmissions, they rely on this to find Lee Miles.
The most trusted name in transmissions. Get me to Lee Miles.
Hello.
Hello. I just enrolled my company in this healthcare plan, and I need some information on a small procedure.
Oh, fine. Just wait a moment, and we can call Debbie at Central.
Debbie? Who's Debbie? My doctor's not Debbie.
You love Debbie. Debbie's at your healthcare company. She's in charge of your health.
Is she a doctor?
No, but she's really nice. She was a cheerleader. And as long as Debbie's been at your healthcare company, no one here has ever missed a birthday card.
I want my doctor.
Well, we could just ask Debbie.
Is your business health care plan all that it should be? Or is Debbie making important decisions about your health care? With HIP coverage, doctors make health care decisions, not administrators. Call your broker or call HIP at this number for information about our affordable small business plans, including plans in New York that let you choose any doctor, anywhere. Call and get a 10-minute prepaid long-distance calling card and our free brochure on small business plans. This offer expires soon, so call now.
Debbie wants you to leave now.
So where do you get your health care?
It's HIP.
Hey,
Get set for a new breed stampede. Leanne Rhymes and Brian White.
So much for pretending.
March 11th at Nassau Coliseum, giving New York something to talk about. The only New York area appearance. Be there when the magic happens. Reserved seats on sale Saturday morning at 10. Leanne Rhymes and Brian White. A Beaver production in support of Dare.
Our New York Marriott Marquis first period highlights can be renamed the Tommy Salo Show.
Well, I guess so. You need a goaltender to keep you in the game so you can get points out of it. That's exactly what Tommy Salo did 5 times anyway in the first period. He just grabbed the puck here now at the start of the second. Do we have a penalty?
Yeah.
I believe we do.
6 seconds into the period. Remember the Flyers on the power play for the first minute 17. And Leclerc driving to the net, pulled down by Kenny Janssen. So the Islanders now are going to be 2 men short for a minute 12.
Take a look at this play right from the face-off. Philadelphia decide they better try and get something done. Lindros wins the draw. Kenny Janssen has trouble clearing it. Hooks up on Leclerc. He goes into the net. Kenny Janssen goes to the penalty box.
Remember, the Islanders twice were down 2 men for various time spans on Sunday against Boston. Killed those disadvantages off completely both times. Right now, though, Desjardins and Terrien have the point. This is Terrien firing, missed the net, rebound, Lindros, a save by Salo. Rindamore in the corner. Boy, how did Lindros miss the first one?
He hit the post, Howie. That's how he missed it.
Lindros up high. Holding. Now to Desjardins. Back for Lindros. A hard pass. Bad angle. The point clear.
Oh, what a bad pass. Desjardins trying to get it to Lindros. A very poor pass. He was not under pressure.
Now Desjardins with 37 left to the 5-on-3. Up to Leclerc. The Islander line. He drops it off to the point. Desjardins and Terrien play catch at the point. Desjardins steps up. Takes it back. Fires. And saved by Salo.
Wow, that's from about 25 feet. A blistering drive off the right point. Desjardins got the chance. Let's take a look. Here's the goal post. Lindros, he's going to hit it right about there with a backhand shot. There's the flip. Clunk. Woo, deadly in front. Cleared away by Scott LeChance. And then Desjardins takes a little pass.
Rindamore out of the corner. Get it through. Back for Terrien now. 11 to the 5-on-3 as Terrien missed the net. Linden over to the boards. Couldn't clear the first time, nor the second. So Lindros keeps it deep for Philadelphia. Pilon getting ready to come back. Terrien's got the puck. Pilon out of the box. Lindros missed the net too. Lapointe over to the boards. First to get it, and he clears. 40 seconds of power play time remain for Philadelphia. That's what's left on Janssen's penalty. And that puck wound up in the Philadelphia bench.
Jammed it.
It up. Nobody in front of the net. Berard to Nemesnikov. Nemchinov to Berard. They score! And it's Tchaikovsky. 4-1 Vancouver. A power play goal for Marius Tchaikovsky.
Was it too hard to be a pass? Was it a shot at the net that went awry? Doesn't matter. Tchaikovsky has a goal. Berard has an assist. And the Islanders are on the board.
And Franklin Delano Roosevelt rests easier.
Nemesnikov to Berard. It was a pass. You could see his stick turn over at the last second when he saw Tchaikovsky. So Berard makes that hard pass. Tchaikovsky right there, a little deflection.
Power play time, he said, man, it feels like I'm a rookie here. He says, I've played 250 games in the National Hockey League. This feels like the first. Linden walks in, gets a puck, he scores! Linden and Palffy strike back. 4-2 Vancouver.
Ellis Stroop's still alive, Howie, the one you talked about a moment ago. What an interception by Palfy. Right there, you see him grab the puck. He read the play perfectly. Trevor Linden returns the puck. Palfy has an open net.
So now, a 12-game point scoring streak for Zygmunt Palfy.
Pilon from the coach set off himself and said,
Brings it towards the net. Janssen stepped in front of Fleury, who gives Janssen a cross-check from behind and a penalty coming out. Well, you could smell that one coming, and Theo Fleury thought Mick Magoo wouldn't see it, but he found it. And we may have more here. Now it's Fleury and Lapointe. Jamie Allison stepping in. Sacco goes after Allison. And now Janssen's got Tita. Fleury's trying to get, presumably, at Janssen, although he's being held off by the linesman. And now Rich Pilon sticks his 2 cents in with Derek Morris, although Lapointe and Morris were tangled up. Mick Magoo is just trying to wave Fleury into the penalty box.
Sacco is in a tight round dance position with Allison. Wow, a couple of Islanders are after Allison. He took a punch at somebody, so this thing could break out and be real ugly.
Cruz and Allison are the 2 combatants right now that are trying to be separated by the linesman Don Henderson. The other linesman, Brad Lazarowicz, has a hold of Richie Pilon, who's going into the penalty box. Changing. And the penalty box. Changing. And Tchaikovsky was conservative about touching the puck. Think back, of course, to the too many men on the ice penalty the Islanders took in Ottawa on Wednesday. That turned out to be the killer. 24 seconds to go in the period. Theo Fleury rocked by Tchaikovsky, who shoots. He scores! That, my friends, is Mariusz Tchaikovsky's finest hour as a New York Islander.
A tremendous hit on Theo Fleury, and what a shot to the net. It's the left side.
So a 3-1 Calgary lead, as Don McKelly, who's played very well, we told you, picks up his 7th, but timeout for a fight back at the Calgary blue line. That's Jamie Allison and Paul Cruz. Cruz, of course, a former Flame, and they're throwing big-time punches. How many have landed? Kind of hard to tell, but this hasn't been a dance. These guys are firing away. Oh, Cruz just landed a right hand to the cheek and winds up on top. And now we got something going on the other side. Rich Pilon's involved.
McCarthy is after Pilon.
Rick Tabaracci is angling over there, and so Wade Flaherty is well out of his goal crease. Now, as soon as Tabaracci came into your picture, Flaherty started out of his crease. Flaherty's about 10 feet inside the blue line, but right now, we've got something that's as well suited to anything that goes on across the street at the Stampede Corral.
I think that's Mike Huff that McCarthy went after.
Well, Huff is certainly releasing some frustration over not having had a jersey most of the last little while. Mike Huff had been scratched the last 4 games, 6 of the last 7. So some tension release on the part of Huff. It all started with Cruz and Allison, but then Rich Pilon got involved. Quieted the Eric Daze. Send messages to teammates. Didn't do it.
4:35 remaining to be played. Third period, tied at 2. Here's Tchaikovsky, across the line, shoots and scores! He beat Potvin stick side.
What a mistake by the Toronto defenseman Smith. Jason Smith got out of control. He lost his balance, and Mariusz Tchaikovsky jumped on the loose puck. And it pays off as he gets his 2nd goal of the hockey game, and the go-ahead goal for the Islanders with just 4.5 minutes remaining in the hockey game. A timely goal for Mariusz Tchaikovsky. Tough break for the Toronto Maple Leafs and their fans. Beautiful shot as Tchaikovsky blows it by Felix Potvin. There's Smith. You see him stumble. He couldn't get over to him quickly enough. And that shot underneath the arm, the right arm of Felix.
It's your option. Do you sign him for his asking?
Or Zygmunt Palfy. Pilon from a coach such as Al Arbor.
Time winding down in this 2nd period. Big hit behind the net by Pilon on Kevin Stevens. They've gone at it for years. In fact, it was Pilon who laid a big hit on Stevens in the '93 playoffs when Stevens was with Pittsburgh. And Stevens subsequently underwent facial surgery After the hit by Pilon, the Islanders upset the Penguins in that series, and Pilon and Stevens have battled ever since over the last 5 years.
And Kevin Stevens obviously has a long memory. He wanted a piece of Pilon, and we mentioned earlier, Pilon is never one to back down. The crowd love him. They're screaming his name, and I guess Kevin Stevens says, hey, enough is enough. He took matters into his own hands and took Pilon on. No damage done, Kenny. Staff said about Johnsson, they said he does so much so well, and he does it so quietly and so nonplussed that you sometimes don't notice.
Huff in front, Pelty scores! Goal number 38 for Zygmunt Pelty.
And a great passing play out of the corner, and again a turnover by the Rangers, deep in their own zone, and the Islanders take full advantage of it, and you don't let Pelty loose a shot like that in close. Here's the play, Kenny. Watch him take it down low. Huff picks it up into the corner. Now watch Pelty get loose. Huff finds him right on his stick, but he doesn't hesitate. He doesn't hold it. And the key to this is Huff looking up, puts it where Pelty can get it, doesn't have to juggle it.
Alexei Kovalev with a 7-game point scoring streak on the line. And now Berard with the long lead pass to Chorsky. The trailer Berard. Down low, Sacco, score!
Three-way passing play, Kenny, by the Islanders. Watch them come in, Berard, over to Sacco. Sacco parked all alone on the side of the net. He's making no mistakes on putting this one to give them a 3-0 lead. But again, a turnover by the Rangers at the blue line. The Islanders very quickly turn it back up ice.
And he was named college hockey's best player yesterday out of Boston University.
Congratulations to Chris Drury, and he obviously was quite a young ball player, too, and probably had his choice as to which sport he wanted to go into, Kenny.
Stock and Langdon both go after Chara. Darren Langdon and Chara drop the gloves. Trevor Linden along with Bill Berg. This is Langdon and Chara dancing out near the Islanders' blue line. Langdon went at it earlier with Ojit. He fought Ken Belanger of the Islanders twice earlier this season. Chara trying to get his arms free. And now this is Linden and Berg.
The big fella,
Bill Berg.
I don't know if the big fella any fighting lessons or not, but if I was him, I would get in and use my height and weight, because I don't think he's thrown them too often, and right now he better just cover up, because Langdon is a big, tough boy. And here,
Stock, TJ Stock, and Tchaikovsky.
And I think maybe Tchaikovsky bit off a little more than he could chew with TJ Stock, because he throws them pretty good, and I don't think Tchaikovsky is a noted fighter.
No. And now the goaltender, Salo, comes over. Here comes Cloutier.
Kenny, we said old-time hockey lives. Well, here it is.
Dan Cloutier has been known to get into fights in the minor leagues. It happened earlier this year with the Hartford Wolfpack. Really thrown on it, Salo.
Well, here's another game misconduct, because the jersey is off, and Cloutier is putting a job. But right now, somebody's got to get loose and put a stop. I don't care if it's the lineman, the referee, or whoever. But when the guy is down and out, okay, Cloutier's smart enough to back off, leave it alone, and away he goes.
And now Cloutier challenging the Islanders bench. Things have gotten out of control here on Long Island.
Big Chara is still moving around. Langdon still wants a piece of Chara. Chara went over to help one of his teammates. Langdon come back in behind. And we've got gloves and sticks all over the place, and all kinds of happenings out there, Kenny. Both benches are up. Cloutier looking for somebody to dance with. Everybody's occupied, so they have to wait till his card gets filled again.
Now Bukaboom skating by the Islanders bench. It started with Langdon and Chara, then Berg and Linden, Stock and Tchaikovsky, and then the goaltenders got involved. Daniel Cloutier and Tommy Salo, sticks, gloves, shoulder pads, jerseys, And the lights all over the ice.
And everybody wants a piece of everybody out there, Kenny.
We'll step out with 6:59 remaining in the third period. The Islanders with a 3-0 lead. That, folks, is a shoulder pad. That was goaltender Tommy Salo. Sticks, gloves, Islanders, Rangers, jerseys, goaltender's mask, and a long list of penalties to be handed out by Dennis LaRue.
And Wayne Gretzky sitting there saying, what in the world is going on? We're already down 3-0, but now we got a circus on the go out here. Interesting, Kenny, to see if the Ojic rule will be invoked in any of these, meaning jersey comes off in a fight, game suspension.
More than jerseys came off.
And everybody was involved in the dance, and this crowd is going nuts, Kenny. They think it's the new world order of wrestling, WWF, and maybe Tyson boxing, all rolled into one out there this afternoon. And good luck to the officials trying to figure this one out.
Here's how it started. P.J. Stock coming in with the hit on Chara along the boards. And then Langdon comes over. Linden in for the Islanders. Chara and Langdon in the initial fight. Then Berg and Linden fought. Stock and Tchaikovsky on the far side. And then Cloutier just pounded on Salo. Think back earlier this week, Patrick Roy and Chris Osgood got involved in the Red Wings Avalanche game. Cloutier has gone off to the Ranger dressing room. Salo had actually left his crease to go help Tchaikovsky, who is getting pounded by P.J. Stock. So Salo came over to help. And then Cloutier, here's Stock and Tchaikovsky. And then Salo comes in to help his teammate. And then Cloutier comes flying in. And he pulled the jersey off Salo.
And Cloutier sort of got Salo unaware coming in from the side. Salo not knowing he's coming, but he's throwing haymakers, ups and downs.
When P.J. Stock was first recalled by the Rangers this year, somebody asked him if he was the toughest player on the Hartford Wolfpack. He said, there's one Wolfpack I would not want to get into a fight with. It's our goaltender, Cloutier.
Well, bear witness to what he just did in this one, and now Richter's coming off the bench. He will go back in for the last 6:59 of this game. And he better mind his P's and Q's because he's the last one they got on the bench, Kenny.
And then Cloutier skated over towards the Islander bench.
And he is not very big.
Any takers?
Look at the size of him. He's saying, okay, who wants a piece of me? He said, I got rid of Salo. He says, I'm still fresh. Who wants to go? Salo is now heading off the ice, giving the victory sign. So I'm not sure who we got left in here at all, Kenny.
It's unbelievable what Yarnder.
New York State, the Islanders in New Jersey. Here's where Brodeur had to hold them to 2 goals to win the Jennings Trophy outright. Didn't look promising. First, Ziggy Palffy gets his 44th from Brian Smolinski at 1:28 of the first period. Still in the first period. As you see, just 4 minutes to play. It's Ziggy Palffy again, and a move not unlike Jaromir Jagr. He goes upstairs, but that's where Brodeur shut the door from there on in. He had faced 47 shots and holds them to a 2-1 victory. The West Coast story.
ICENET. Dynasties live here.
Island's best team for insurance. Go for National Security Brokerage. You'll feel secure with National Security Brokerage. Let's go Islanders.